Okay, well, I was just working on some details for my Unfiltered Ascension retreat next November, November 2026 in Bali, and I felt inspired to record a little video. I've been talking a lot about my retreat this year, the new paradigm, which ultimately the Unfiltered Ascension is the same thing, just a different name, because the new paradigm project was kind of a one-off thing. But I'm so excited to do this again. And in fact, I think I'm going to be adding a second Bali retreat next year. Details to be determined. Have to find the right villa for that one because it'll be earlier in the year, and the one that I would be using otherwise is not available. But um, anyway, I was working on that and I was putting together some information to send over to one of my clients who had expressed interest in the retreat as well. And as I was just kind of contemplating, the details, as I was also talking with the villa manager from the villa and wanting to book things, I was just kind of reflecting again back on this whole experience and how I got, to where I am with it. Because literally, if you would have told me um, a couple of years ago that I would be hosting retreats in Bali, let alone multiple retreats in a year in Bali, I likely wouldn't have believed that because honestly, it seemed too big. And I used to tell myself actually that, oh, Bali is so cliche and I don't really care about going there. And so many people go there and it's just for like influencers and blah, blah, blah. But in reality, I said those things because it seemed like something that was beyond what I could do. And now, I mean, I know it's a lot more common for people to host retreats in Bali, to travel to Bali and like all over the world. So it's not like it's that big of a deal, but it's something I used to tell myself wasn't available to me or that I wouldn't let myself actually do. And I was also just watching the like testimonial slash interview, post retreat interview that I did with one of the attendees from my retreat this November. And, talking about how years ago she had wanted to come to Bali and she couldn't make it happen. And how, this year, wanting to be able to participate in this retreat and wanting to be the version of her that was on the other side, the identity that was on the other side of actually making Bali happen. And I can say now I'm on the other side of that, myself in terms of the retreats and having pulled off multiple retreats now overseas in Bali. And just some of the things that I've done in the last few years that oftentimes, even myself, I can admit that I've downplayed and I'm getting a little emotional already. I didn't expect that just talking about it, but like the things that I didn't think that I could do or that I was capable of, or when things weren't going the way that I wanted to, how, I would tell myself what I was doing wrong, and it would be really easy to focus on, oh, well, this month I didn't make as much as my goal. This year I didn't hit this goal. I didn't get as many clients that showed up for this program, or I had a master class that nobody showed up to, and how easy it is to see ourselves as the identity of us that doesn't have the thing, can't have the thing, and then to downplay, oh, I don't really want that, or, I don't need that, or, even like making fun of people who go to Bali or whatever. But really, it's a protection mechanism, and that's what it was for me, and it is, I know, for so many people. And, again, thinking to this client, I don't recall exactly, what she said, but this was something again that she wanted, and she absolutely is the person who's on the other side. And, I can see just like how she stepped into that identity in, literally days before, because, she was part of a mastermind group that included the Bali retreat, but even days before, she was still kind of like, I don't know how I'm going to make this work, but she pulled it together and she made it work. And the version of her that's on the other side is a completely different fucking woman. And I'm getting emotional just thinking about it because, I've been through this kind of stuff myself and seeing it happen to other people. It's so powerful. And that's the kind of things that we do, not just in my retreats, in my masterminds and my one-on-one coaching, but the identity work that, the things that I do with women and people, because it's not just women. We actually had a man at this year's retreat. Um, to really help them to not just unfilter, it's called Unfiltered Ascension. But unfilter means like really being yourself and being all of you and being that person on the other side and stepping into the identity of the person who has everything. And as I sit here and I plan my next retreat and start thinking about the additional retreats that I want to do next year and the one the following year, I'm looking at probably January or February of 2027, a Costa Rica retreat. And next year, I'm kind of deciding between places, Bali, but also potentially the Virgin Islands, or Hawaii, maybe Mexico, or Puerto Rico. I have so many places I want to go. If I could just be on retreat all the time, it would be perfect. Um, but just thinking about, where I was a few years ago versus where I am now, and how easy it is to, again, get stuck in the identity of the things that aren't working for us, or the things that haven't worked the way we expected, or that we're not as far along in something else as we wanted to be. But when we actually look at how far we've fucking come and the challenges that you've like put yourself in and overcome to get where you are, it's amazing. And, I feel like I've had a lot of conversations, this past year with people who kind of were in that like freeze mode of, oh, but I don't have this proof, or this isn't working, or I can invest, when I get here in whatever thing, or I'll buy that thing, or we'll buy our house, or we'll do this. And I'm guilty of those things myself. And, I've been personally doing a lot of expansion work, and identity work around money, as I want to really, shift some things in my world. And, recognizing the importance of really truly seeing yourself as the version of you that can do all of the things, that is already doing the things. And I know, I think about a couple of clients in particular where that's really been a challenge for them. And it was really a challenge for me sometimes too, to see myself as that person. But I just wanted to, I don't even know, like I said, the point of this video really, I think, was just to share, that vibe, and share that, like, literally, if you right now are wanting something, but yet limiting yourself, telling yourself you can't have it until, you can't do this until this happens, or it's going to be a reward for that, or I can't, start doing this thing until I get to this level, or beating yourself up because you haven't reached your goal. We're reaching the end of the year now. Before the year, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. I really challenge you to sit back and ask yourself, like, what have you done? And from like a good perspective, I want you to reflect back on all the things that you thought you couldn't do, or that seemed scary or challenging, that you've overcome in your life, in your journey in your business, and your relationships, whatever it is for you, because I guarantee you that you are so much more fucking powerful than you recognize. And when you live a life of being unfiltered, that unfiltered ascension, you ascend, from being more unfiltered. It's not just about the words that you use. Like, yes, and I talk a lot about content and, messaging and, how you're speaking, when it comes to business, but it's so much more than that. And it's, being unfiltered is also actually allowing yourself to let down those things that that you've put up. It's those barriers, those walls, and actually allowing yourself to be the person who can actually go after those things. Because I guarantee you, you absolutely can. Whether you have the proof or the evidence of it or not yet, it's who you're choosing to be in this moment right now and what you're anchoring into. That's what allows the quantum leaps. That's what allows you to grow, to expand, to achieve things beyond your wildest fucking dreams. And I know that, like, 1 year from now, I'm going to be looking back on my life and, again, just like being mesmerized by everything that I've accomplished, because I choose to not limit myself, to not filter myself, to not tell myself things aren't or unavailable to me, because the thing is everything is available even if it doesn't fucking feel like it, but it's allowing yourself to actually see yourself as that version of you. And if you're ready to go all in on that, of course, I would love to talk to you about next year's Unfiltered Ascension Retreat. Is also a mastermind, which you can pair up. I have a really, really good bonus, depending on when you're watching this. If you register before the end of 2025 for that retreat, you actually get access to a full year of the Unfiltered Ascension Mastermind, which at itself is valued more than the retreat at $10,000 per year. So, again, if this is resonating with you and you're ready to step into that next level identity, the Unfiltered Ascension Mastermind, along with the retreat, are absolutely the fucking places to do that, to elevate yourself, your frequency, your energy, your identity into that next level, and to continue to do it. Because the thing is we're in a year's time, we're definitely not going to do it just once. You will continue to expand and step into more every single fucking day. So, links in the description below if you want to get the details. Message me over on Facebook or wherever we're connected. Can't message on YouTube, but just message me and we'll have a conversation. And especially if you get in before the end of the year and get that really juicy bonus. So I will talk to you soon. If you have resonated with this, make sure you like and comment on the video. If you have something to say, of course, or subscribe to the channel for more, and we'll talk to you soon.